Welcome to Planning Joy Garden. Today we're going to go through the garden and talk about those essential October garden tasks, those fall tasks. So, the first thing we'll be doing is harvesting fruit and topping off the vines. So, the perfect example is this cherry tomato here. It's an indeterminate tomato. I'm going to start off by pulling off the ripe fruit. And I want to encourage the non ripened fruit to hurry up and ripen. So, what I'm going to actually do is find the ends of the growing vines, like areas like this, and I'm going to cut off anything above the last fruit set. This will encourage everything lower on the vines to ripen up, and it'll be easier for me to pull the plant because I won't feel like I'm wasting fruit. So it's more for my psyche than it is to terminate the plant. But my goal is to, ripen up everything that is here so that I can get the maximum harvest. So let's get started on harvesting out some cherry tomatoes and topping up. So as you can see here, I went ahead and I topped off those remaining parts, and here's my harvest for today. Next, we're going to take a look at the peppers. I want to get anything that's ready for harvest. Now, this one here is almost a foot long. I overlooked it in my previous harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and go carefully through the leaves and pull off anything that is ripe. I'm also going to make a decision as to whether the plants are healthy enough to overwinter. And this is my harvest. And I don't think I will be keeping all of my pepper plants. I did see some black spots, so I'm happy to get some good fruit. So anything that's not healthy, I'm just going to pull out of the soil. I'm going to try to save maybe one or two to experiment with overwintering peppers. And so you can see I've removed it here, and I also had to take out my basil because it was covered in black spot, and I don't want to introduce black spot into my garden. By removing the unhealthy peppers and also removing the basil, it gives these shishitos a better chance. There is some small fruit here, and it also gets a little light down to my, as you can see here, a little better light down to my cilantro. Yeah, so the cilantro looks really good. It'll get more light and more airflow, and I don't see any black spot on it at this time. Next, we're going to try and ripen and cure my squash. So here's my squash plant. As you can see, powdery mildew has definitely set in. But despite that, powdery mildew does not affect the flavor of the butternut squash, and it is not on the vines. So, in terms of ripeness, I'm looking at the tendrils, I'm looking at the stem. The stem is nice and corky. Not all of the tendrils are dry, and you can see my powdery mildew is quite bad. It's on pretty much every leaf, but I'm going to leave it here so that it can simply ripen and cure. This one too is even here, and you can see I have great color on these butternuts, but the flesh isn't quite hard enough. I can get my nail through the flesh, and one way to tell if it's ripe is through the flesh. Now let's go over and collect some herbs. Today I will be collecting some thyme as well as some chives, which are over here, and then we'll see what else is available. So I'm going to cut no more than a third of the plant. And the reason we do this, ongoing harvest keeps the plant bountiful and healthy. Also, by cutting only a third, you give the plant enough time to recover so that you can come back in maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and cut an additional third. That way, you get the most out of your planting. So, I'm just going to kind of give it a little haircut all the way around the plant, one third coming off. And what I do is I've been using it quite fresh. And I'm going to use it fresh for as long as possible. But this is the time of year when you need to dehydrate your herbs so that you have them available during the winter. Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, all those special occasions. You want to be able to season your herbs, season your meals with thyme. It goes great on pork, fish, chicken, beef. It's just a great all around herb to use. And so we'll collect that now. I'm also going to take a look over here. The lettuce is looking good, but I'm also going to harvest out some celery today as well as some rosemary. Again, I love fresh rosemary and I've used fresh rosemary all season long. But for the winter, I'm going to have to use it dry because I refuse to go pay for it when I have it in my yard. And I'm in zone 5B6A. So my herbs, although they are in containers, they will be under snow and they will not be usable. And so I will be overwintering my herb containers. And I haven't quite decided. Last year they survived. I put them in a little pop up mini greenhouse, the plastic little greenhouse. This year, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use that method or if I'm going to roll my containers into the garage. I'm also propagating from my own plants inside so that if my plants should die back, I have propagations in my kitchen that I can replant for next year. So my goal this year was to grow 100% of my herbs, which meant that I am not buying fresh herbs from the grocery store and I am dehydrating my own herbs. And so this is what I collected today and I will be processing these. Now we're just going to check on our fall crops and the overall health to see how well they're growing. And here's my mustards that I've harvested for today. And then this is the area I have thinned them out from. And so I'm using cut and come again on the mustards. And this is actually my second harvest of my fall mustards because they grow so fast. You see the size of these leaves? I actually harvested from here last week. Now as you can see, my broomtail spinach is not doing well. It has been attacked by insects. They prefer the spinach over the mustards. So what I'm going to do is overseed or reseed. So I'm just going to go in those blank spots and add additional seeds. Now let's take a look at my turnips. As you can see, I harvested these turnips last week and I thought I did a good job of thinning them out, but as you can see, they need more space and light. So I'm going to just get in here and harvest. And this is my harvest. Wow, it is a lot of turnips. And I must say, I love growing turnips because the leaf production is very rapid. You cut it because it's a bulb, it grows right back again. And then you also get to harvest these wonderful bulbs under the turnip. So I could harvest the bulb today, but then it's done. So if I simply remove the leaves and allow the bulbs to push out more leaves, I have a plentiful harvest. Now, sometimes I will go ahead and pull the entire plant because I want to cook the turnip bulb and with the turnip leaves in like a pot of greens. But as you can see, I have really good bulb production. And the other side of this bed here, I have not even began. I have not harvested that side once. Now let's take a look at the sunlight. Now, as the leaves fall off the tree and as the sun is lower in the horizon during the fall and winter, the lighting and sun exposure in my garden is going to change. And I do have a few leaves dropping now, and we're just going to look up at the sky and you see once this leaf cover is gone, my yard will get full eastern sun and full southern sun, which means that my plants are going to easily get 8 hours of daylight even in the wintertime. And so plants like arugula, my herbs, um, I'm growing some onions over here. I'm growing carrots. The carrots are here and they're growing up nicely. Everything in this bed is going to get full morning sun, and it's also going to get full sun from the south. And so my seedlings will get better sun exposure. They will start to grow better for me. My garlic is also planted here. And as you can see, my bunch and onions are here. So they're going to get the maximum amount of sun until the snow snuffs out the sunlight for them. So this is the reason I plant in this bed in the fall and winter, because my sun exposure is amazing. Now, I also have some parsley here. Parsley can tolerate the intense heat, but I have to be careful with sunlight with parsley. The Swiss chard, well, I'll be harvesting this out. Swiss chard doesn't really care about changes in temperature. It's hardy down to about 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And in my growing towers, more Swiss chard, and these will do just fine, receiving both eastern and southern light. And they can stay uncovered for quite a bit of time. So I should be able to get to them through October, November. In December, I do have frost cover for them. I also have some alyssums, which I regret planting. But this has been my garden. We've walked through, we've taken care of those essential fall October tasks. And if you're in a cooler zone, say zone 5, 6, and part of zone 7, you need to start planning on what your sunlight's going to look like. Check on your harvest, make sure your plants are healthy, and just take care of your garden the way you took care of it in the spring. And here's a look of my harvest. It's been plentiful. Got mustards, turnips, tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. So thank you for joining me in the garden. Have an amazing day. If anything was helpful, please push that like button.